Hello, everybody, and welcome today to the World Online Racing Championship TV for the presentation here of Season 3 of the GGR Oregon Diecast Indycar Series. Make sure you go check out series sponsor Oregon Diecast on Instagram at Oregon Diecast. As tonight is the penultimate event here from Auto Club Speedway down in Fontana, California, the home track of GGR iRacing champion Blake Kennedy back in Season 1. So Blake looking for a little bit of home track magic here as these guys round themselves around the track for qualifying tonight. I'm joined in the booth today by Paul Granata. Paul, welcome to the booth. First time you've been here this season. You've been a driver for most of the season, but you found yourself relegated here. What are you excited for here being up in the booth?
Yeah, thank you, and I'm excited to see if Josh can lock up the championship tonight. You know, he's got to have a clean race and a great race, and that's what it's been about all season is consistency. But he's got Blake right there, so I think it's gonna be a good bad night, and I think it's gonna be fun to watch Josh.
For sure, as qualifying finishes out, we're going to pop open the starting grid for tonight's event. Starting on the pole for tonight is the 77 of Ethan Harrison of Outlaw Racing. To his outside is Outlaw Racing teammate Christian Visconti. Row 2, inside we have Anthony Sharps. To his outside, Garrett White in the 26. Then we have Brady Cox lining up to round out the top 5. Good qualifying run for him. We saw some netcode last week. Kind of took him out of contention for that big win that he was looking for, so unfortunate for him. Great rebound, though, in qualifying, starting up P5. John Cannizzaro, first start here in the GGR Oregon Diecast IndyCar Series. He lines up P6. 7th, Blake Kennedy, as he finds himself out of an Outlaw Racing seat in the future, so he's going to finish out the last two races of the season here for Outlaw Racing. So Kennedy, alongside his Outlaw Racing teammate Aaron Giffen, as not a single Nova Sim Racing driver in the top 8. That's the rivalry we've been looking for all season. Paul, you can finish off the rest of the grid here.
Starting ninth, we got DJ Hall. Starting 10th, we got Ethan Workman, and starting 11th, we got Austin Doring. Starting 12th, we got Nova Sim Racer Josh Patterson. Starting 13th, nobody cares about him. Starting 14th, we got Scott Ferguson. Starting 15th, we got Nick Piana. And starting 16th, well, if he shows up, it'll be Henry Clapper.
Yeah, we're not sure what happened to Henry. He was supposed to be broadcasting tonight. We don't really know what happened to him here. Give me a moment here. ATVO is having a bit of a glitch. This is actually very entertaining. Running out the field, Ryan Came and Jack Leslie in 17th and 18th. Sorry. For some reason, ATVO, which is the program we use for this stuff, it had a glitch when I minimized it, and now all the buttons are like disappeared. And if I hover over them, the buttons reappear. It's very weird. I don't really know what's going on. But nevertheless, let's get into some information for tonight, starting with the track information. As I said, Auto Club Speedway located in Fontana, California, the home track of Blake Kennedy, the driver of the 75. This is an oval, obviously, so it's 4 turns at an altitude of 3,650 feet. As if you look beyond turns 3 and 4, you see the beautiful mountain ranges down there in Southern California. Track length of about 2 miles. Race info for tonight, 62 laps, 124 miles with an average lap time of 34 seconds. Sponsored by Henry Clapper. Weather for tonight, 65 degrees, 65-degree track temps as well, 10-mile-an-hour wind speeds, partly cloudy skies. It is just about 5:47 p.m. Eastern Time, 1% humidity in the air. And real quick on the broadcast, I'm going to show you guys the current point situation. So you're going to see this on your screen right here. Josh Patterson has a 62-point advantage over Blake Kennedy right now. So Josh Patterson in the O2 can clinch the championship tonight. So that is something we're going to have to watch out for, is the O2 clinching himself the championship. Blake Kennedy second, Anthony Sharp's third, Ethan Workman fourth, Jay Mulder out of contention in fifth, Ethan Harrison out of contention in sixth, Jack Leslie, Aiden Oxidine, Justin Haley, Dimitri Mundros, all of those drivers are out of contention. It is down to the top 4, and after tonight, it could be down to just the top 2. So, very crucial stuff happening here, leading into like I said, the penultimate race of this season. So, I'm excited for it here. Pace car lights are out. They will go green this time by for 62 laps of action. Outlaw Racing teammates on the front row here. And green flag flies as we look through the field. Ethan Harrison will lead us to the green here, as it looks like we had some guys spin the tires a little bit towards the back. Looks like that was Anthony Sharps. He's going to recollect himself, though, as they head down into turn number 1. Harrison and Visconti side by side for the lead.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting restart to watch at least. I know that restarts in the series have definitely been something to watch and the wheel spin. But the something I did watch during practice today was the tightness behind somebody and how straight your car goes. But as you can see, Ethan, he can control the field.
Yeah, and right now, Ethan Harrison, obviously, he's kind of out of that the championship contention at this point, the way the points have shaked out. So he really needs a big win here. Unfortunately for him, though, he and his teammate Visconti have been split right here by Garrett White going up the middle. Visconti will go to the top side, and John Cannizzaro moving his way through the field already. He's going to take him 3 wide for the lead down the back straightaway.
Yeah, so continue to batter down the back straightaway 3 wide. It's going to be Ethan's
Oh,
actually going to
Ethan
lift here and
backs out.
drop 2. Yeah.
Ethan is saving himself for the end as he lifts out of this. The top 3 are not playoff drivers. 4th place Ethan Workman is, and he is also finding himself out of an Outlaw Racing seat after the end of this GGR season. So he's in his second to last race with Outlaw Racing as well, alongside Blake Kennedy, as those two are moving on to different ventures. In fact, Ethan Workman will be teammates with 26 of Garrett White, who you see there on the outside of the front row. So Workman right now kind of in between a sandwich of his old teammates and his new teammates, and he's just looking to finish out the season with some wins and put Outlaw Racing in a good spotlight here as he finishes out his run with us.
Yeah, this top 4 is side by side, and as we can see, John trying to hold this bottom here.
Ooh.
Gets a little bit loose and about tags the side of Garrett, but Garrett's actually going to lead this lap. And speaking of it, all points to Josh Patterson staying well away from everybody right now. Back in
Yeah,
13.
yeah, there was a big wiggle there out of Cannizzaro that you mentioned. But yeah, we are focused on Josh Patterson, 62-point lead, as we said, can clinch the championship tonight. He's currently running 13th in that O2 Dynamo Designs Indycar there, as he finds himself in a little bit of team lingo as well, as Dynamo Designs will actually be partnering with Limeade Media, two sponsors of WORC TV and the league itself, and there'll be Dynamo Racing powered by Limeade Media. And so Josh Patterson, he's finishing out his last 2 races with Nova Sim Racing there in his brand new Dynamo Designs car. If you aren't familiar, that was JP Designs. Patterson had a little bit of a rebrand. He runs Dynamo, so make sure you go check out Dynamo Designs for all your design needs, as they are side by side here for P2 entering turn 3. Workman rolling the outside. Cannizzaro struggling so far on the bottom to maintain something, as Garrett White has pulled out to a 5/10 advantage.
Oh, I thought there'd be more contact there, but yeah, Garrett's pulled away here. And honestly, I was wondering the tire fall off here, being that it's such a wide track and it's Auto Club. So I don't know if the tire fall off's going to be a key or not. But as you can see, a lot of these drivers are selecting to get out of this lead pack and fall a little bit instead of racing and battling. As you can see, single file, as once John gets separated, it will become a single file pack.
What's interesting to me is Ethan Harrison. We saw him drop out of the pack from the lead. He cycled himself back up there in 5th, and he's still kind of racy up there with those leaders. So I'm a little confused by what his true intentions are, but he's got his teammate Ethan Workman in front of him here. So we'll see what happens here as Harrison looks to go to the top side here on Workman, and he's got slight help from behind with Austin Duran in the 25. Oh, Harrison got the wall a little bit there off exit.
Yeah, I was going to say he got a little bit too high. About got the wall. I don't think he actually touched it. Being that you're in an Indy car, if you touch the wall, you could kiss that night goodbye. But he ended up keeping it off. But a lot of these people are starting to use the apron here on lap 7. So I think we're going to see some more aggressive now.
Yeah, they're starting to single file out a little bit, not really wanting to run side by side, as Garrett White's pulled out to a 6/10 lead there. And like I said, Ethan Workman ending his Outlaw Racing tenure. That's his new team owner up in front of him. That's going to be Whiteout Sim Racing, owned by, well, Garrett White. And so Workman right now, obviously, I think he's favoring his new teammates a little bit more than his older teammates, but we'll see as the night goes on what happens. Visconti challenging Brady Cox, as Visconti goes to the top side there in his Limeade Media number 80 machine as they cross the line. 9 laps through this thing so far. Lots of side-by-side action here through the top 5.
Yeah. I was gonna say, watching Christian drive this track right now, he started 2nd. He's fallen to like 4th here, but he continues to want to use that outside. He's the only driver that continues to be up there.
Yeah,
so I think he knows there's something up there.
Speaking of the outside, they were 3 wide for a moment there between Kennedy on the inside and Dijon Hall in the 10. Oh,
Contact.
the 82 just got loose by himself on the back straightaway. He appears to be all right. Meanwhile, up here, this pack looks pretty aggressive. Kennedy, Dijon Hall, Ryan Kame, Aaron Giffen, Nick Pena, and Josh Patterson. They're all part of this second pack back here. As we mentioned, Patterson, he's just trying to stay alive in this thing. He was a little frustrated that the second to last race with a full throttle track, as he really wants to just clinch this championship and go into Las Vegas next week with a open mindset of being able to win that race. Of course, it's going to take a pretty big swing in the point standings here. It's going to take probably a Blake Kennedy victory and Josh Patterson finishing pretty much dead last for anything to truly happen in this championship run here.
Well, as you were speaking, something happened to Garrett in turn number 4, and we got a new leader. Ethan Workman is just driven
Workman
by
and Cannizzaro have gotten a Garrett A. White, and they're going to be 3 wide now. Workman, White, and Cannizzaro. White will clear down, and we'll see what happens with John Cannizzaro. We mentioned this is his first ever GGR start. They've had a few guys who've made some impressive GGR starts this season in their debut race, but so far none as impressive as Cannizzaro, who's out here leading some laps. I don't think we've seen anybody else lead laps in their first GGR starts this season. So 3 wide still for the lead as the aggression is on here in the penultimate race here in the WORC TV 125 at Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah. As we continue to watch this, I just want to point some out that Josh, who needs a good run here, Blake, who also needs a good run, isn't really pulling away from Josh. He's kind of staying right there. So, and we got contact between Garrett and John.
Yeah, Garrett White and John Cannizzaro went wheel to wheel there, a little bit of wheel inside wheel. That's allowing Christian Visconti and Austin Duran to reel in the 3 leaders who are swapping out positions right now. They've managed to be 3 wide every time they've crossed the line the past 3 laps. It's just a different way of them being 3 wide. Cannizzaro up to the middle, Workman to the bottom. Here comes Christian Visconti. He's got an aggressive run. He's going up the middle. He's got Austin Duran following him here, and we'll see what happens with Christian Visconti here as he's got that Line Media number 80 machine in great position on the top side. He's going to come back down, cut off Austin Duran. Duran looks to the top side. Visconti working with John Cannizzaro. Now Visconti will peek to the top side. 3 wide for the lead. 2 Outlaw Racing drivers putting Cannizzaro in a sandwich.
Yes, and that continues to stay 3 wide. Now down to 2 wide. Ethan Workman trying to get the bottom, but John's on top, and he's going to get that top lead to work here.
Oh, Duran.
And John's going to take the lead, and Duran's going to go up there with him. It's going to be, I think the drag's going to be the key down the backstretch.
Yeah, Duran, he kind of left Ethan Workman there down the back straightaway, jumped to the top side. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for him because Garrett White went down, and he's in line with Ethan Workman. So it's really panning out more in Cannizzaro's favor than it is Duran's, but Duran's going to have a huge run on the top side here, and he's got Garrett White forcing him up a little bit. Duran will go all the way up to the outside wall, or well, nearly outside wall, about a groove off of it, as the pack is slowly catching back up, and they're going to single file it out for now. Cannizzaro trying to train them down the back straightaway to break the draft as they head through 3 and 4.
Yeah, I don't know the fuel mileage, and I don't know if we're actually going to see our first-time Green 5 pit stops here at Auto Club in these cars, but I think that's something that everyone's kind of don't want to see is a Green 5 pit stop. But as we continue to see, I don't know if we're going to see it. They're racing pretty aggressive down here on the front stretch.
Yeah, Visconti kind of backed it off. Brady Cox has joined the top 5 here in that 76 Menards machine, and I think it's a Menards car. I don't really know what the sponsor is on that thing. It just looks like a Menards car. John Cannizzaro still trying to break the draft on Ethan Workman. He's doing a great job so far in that 12 car. As Workman comes down on Duran, Duran's going to get the apron a little bit there. Great save, but that'll slow him up, and that'll cause some confusion. Brady Cox not sure where to go there. He's going to have to follow himself back out on line, and Christian Visconti and Anthony Sharps will round out the guys up there in that field. Ethan Harrison slowly catching back up to this pack here. Obviously, we saw him kind of tiptoe his way out of there earlier, so he's definitely probably very interested to see what happens here between this top 7.
And speaking of the playoff that we continue to talk about, championship contender Blake Kennedy just tagged the wall in turn number 2.
Yeah, he's actually
lost 2 spots.
Behind Josh Patterson now. He's losing points to Patterson. That's not a good thing for that 75. As meanwhile, back up front, we've had a change for the lead. Workman has overpowered John Cannizzaro for the lead with Garrett White behind him. Austin Duran behind Cannizzaro. We'll see what kind of a run Cannizzaro gets. He actually runs it a little wide there. They're going to be 4 wide down the back straightaway for a moment. 3 wide now. Duran, Cannizzaro, and Workman.
Yeah, that's something we gotta watch is as it gets later in this race. How aggressive you start pushing an IndyCar? I know you're not supposed to, but you'll see it happen here. Because now we got side by side, dead even between Ethan Workman and
Oh,
John, and now we're gonna get
Cannizzaro up
three
the
wide.
middle. Man, these guys love slicing and dicing, trying to get every inch of track they can. Um, Trying to get the move to get up front, as obviously, I mean, I don't know if clean air is beneficial here. It seems like it's not. I mean, Cannizzaro held on to the lead for a couple laps. Workman's held on to the lead for a couple of laps. But ultimately, the draft is really overpowering these guys. And I mean, Cannizzaro, look, he doesn't even have draft right now, and he's working that middle lane really well. Cox is in line with Duran. Visconti looks like he's not quite sure where to go. Cannizzaro is going to file himself back out in line, and we're going to be side by side with Duran and Workman. Duran has the help of Cox. Workman has the help of Garrett White here.
Yeah, if I'm Visco and Ethan, you're sitting right in a good view of this. Because if you see him wreck, you know you're gonna check up. The way these guys are racing, and constant lane changes are really starting to take an effect here. You see that the two future teammates working together on the bottom, and then you got Austin and Brady working the top side, just trying to figure out what lane to go. And Austin's gonna get the advantage on the top side here, but it seems like Ethan Workman every time down the stretch can get right back up to him.
Yeah, Austin Duran and Brady Cox moving themselves up into the lead for the moment here. Duran will clear Ethan Workman, and that'll leave Brady Cox alone on the outside. He's going to have Garrett White behind him, but White's going to follow himself back out in the line. Christian Visconti was kind of working the top side there for a moment, but he lifted off, and he's going to try to follow himself back out on line. As Brady Cox now going for the lead on Austin Duran. He was in line for a moment and then decided to pull out. He's going to be side by side, try to use some of that side force to get up front here to lead this
And
lap.
I'm getting some breaking news. The pit window is just opened here in the IndyCar series. We got multiple people on pit road.
Austin Duran and John Cannizzaro, a quick decision here. The first time we've seen green flag pit stops all season here in the GGR. Well, I guess it's the second time. We saw him a little bit at Iowa, but that's the first time we're going to see the entire field come down. So Austin Duran leads them down, and that's probably why they're single filing out a little bit. Brady Cox is going to go to the inside. Looks like Workman and White might stay out here.
And I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but championship leader Josh Patterson has just been black flagged for speeding on pit road.
That is true. I see it right now. He is serving a penalty. Josh Patterson, your championship leader. He is finding himself in some trouble here at Auto Club. He speeds going down pit road, and that is huge for the O2 machine. As Brady Cox and Christian Visconti peeled off and down into pit road, Workman, White, and Sharp stay it out. So does Kennedy and Hall, as well as Scott Ferguson. Looks like Brady Cox, Visconti, and Harrison all coming down pit road. Good stops for these guys here as they all get into their boxes. And we're going to have to monitor the guys who first pit. Looks like Ryan Kane was part of this pit cycle here. John Cannizzaro, I believe, also had a speeding penalty. He is stuck on pit road. So is Austin Duran.
And Nick has just got one too. Pit road being treacherous right here on lap 23.
This is what happens when we don't usually have green flag pit stops. And Garrett White is passing Ethan Workman on pit road. I'm not sure if Workman came in a little slow or if White came in a little hot. But
And we got a
Workman,
spin in turn one. I don't know if it's going to be off the yellow or not.
not sure who it is.
It's Jack Leslie has spun it off pit road exit, and right now they're going to stay green because he's below the apron, but he is struggling to get that 37 point in the right direction.
And he's going to be kind of blocking pit road exit. Cannizzaro files out behind Brady Cox. So it looks like a great stop for the 76 machine as Ethan Workman and Garrett White sharps file out of pit road. So does Kennedy. Ethan Harrison is the first one off of pit road from that group of cars, and Harrison is going to have a great run here. I don't think it'll be enough to start passing guys. He'll get by Anthony Sharps here heading into the corner.
Oh, we got a spin. It's going to be DJ Hall in turn number, I want to
Oh,
say
he's
3.
going
And
to park it there. Oh, looks like he's reset off the racing surface. No caution. And Ethan Harrison side by side for second. He's going to maybe clear Garrett White here. He does. What a great stop for the driver of the 77. He came in there with Christian Visconti and Brady Cox. And ultimately, I'm not sure what the 77 took, but it's put him out front here in second place. Well, battling for second. As Ethan Workman, great stop by him. He's leading this thing.
Yeah, what an interesting cycle here. It took 25 laps to really start seeing some action. Pit road open, and it just seemed like everybody had some issues there.
And yeah, your championship leader, Josh Patterson, is back in 13th. That's great news for Blake Kennedy because he is 5th. And this is the type of finish Blake needs to try to keep that championship open heading into Las Vegas next week. As we mentioned earlier, looking at those point standings pre-race, Blake Kennedy truly the only guy who still has a chance here. Sharps and Workman are just barely in the running for it, and Workman actually might, if he wins this, he might still be in the running for it. Sharps is having himself a good day too so far. He's running P4, but I don't see anybody else besides Blake Kennedy really truly having a shot at Patterson next week at Las Vegas, and even the chance of having a shot at Patterson is slim, despite him looking like he's going to run 13th right now.
Yeah, it was definitely very interesting. We got multiple. Like now, I don't know because of fuel mileage. Can you make it to the end, or do you have to save a little bit here?
Well, obviously, these guys didn't really go half and half, as half of 62 would be 31. They pit about lap 21 through 23, so with the way the pit window opened, I think they definitely have to pit again. I would assume somebody would have tried to stretch it out towards halfway if they could have made it that far in the first place. So I definitely think we'll be seeing some more green flag pit stops. As we saw, the fuel window kind of opens about 20 laps into a run, so right now, the fuel window should be opening first off for Austin Duran and John Cannizzaro, and that'll be in another about 13 laps or so. So already looking towards a second stint of pit stops here under green flag conditions, and with the field spread out the way they are, I'm interested to see what happens as we have teammates together. Blake Kennedy in his second to last race with Outlaw Racing. He is in the draft of Ethan Harrison with Christian Visconti behind him. We'll see how the three drivers work together here as they cross the line. 29 of 62 complete here.
Yeah, Ethan, Workman, and Garrett, future teammates like we continue to talk about, are sitting 1-2 with the rest of the field right now. Ethan Harrison's going to look underneath the 92 of Anthony Schultz, but we'll fade behind him. As now we're going to watch the field catch up. Now Ethan's under attack by Blake, and Blake's under attack by Christian Outlaw in a train right now.
I wouldn't necessarily say they're under attack. They're just trying to line up and work their way through the field here as they're going to have to try to make a move on Anthony Sharps, and it looks like Visconti might actually poke out a line trying to get some clean air over the front wing of that Indycar as Harrison gets up close and personal to the rear wing of the 92 of Anthony Sharps. Not sure if they're trying to all work together or not, but right now Garrett White is reeling in Ethan Workman. I think Workman is lifting for him, and Workman has the benefit right now of Aaron Giffen's draft as the 9 is going to just pull out of line here and let the leaders go by. He will go a lap down, and he will be the first car a lap down. Or excuse me, no, he's going to be 3 laps down. Not sure what happened to him. Looks like he had a pit road incident. Cost him some time.
Yeah, something I've also just realized, with them having to pass that lap call, Anthony, Ethan, Blake, and Christian actually gained a little bit. I don't know if it's because they had such a different line there and they hold their line, but they're gaining just a tad bit on the
Oh,
race
Harrison, he ran it a little wide and jumped out of line. That forced Kennedy low, and that's going to kind of screw him up a little bit. And we'll see what happens here as Kennedy dives to the inside. Looks like Visconti, he's not really sure where to go. As Harrison just trying to roll the outside, he's going to get back in the line here. And Kennedy will lead the Outlaw train with Anthony Sharps in front of them. Kennedy now will look to the inside of Sharps. Looks like he may have told Ethan and Christian, look guys, it's go time. Anthony's holding them up, and they want to get a move made ASAP as White and Workman have found each other, and they're going to continue to tandem for, well, up until this next pit cycle here. It's really going to come down to the way pit stops go here. But right now, Kennedy, Harrison, Visconti working together. They have Ryan Kame a little bit in the mix here. We'll see if Kame and Sharps tag the end of this pack, or if Ryan Kame tries to make a pass, which I don't think would be quite the smartest decision here when you're trying to run down the leaders for a chance at the win here. But Ryan Kame, obviously, he's, I mean, Paul, specifically for you, he's known for some interesting decisions here in the GGR Oregon Diecast IndyCar Series, and he got his first career podium. I believe it was Iowa a couple weeks ago. So, you know, Ryan Kame, he has a little bit of momentum here. We'll see what happens as the laps wind down, and Garrett White and Ethan Workman continue to pace the field here.
Yeah, I just want to say something because I was going to the field there, and Jack Leslie has taken his number 37 to the garage after a violent spin down the back straightaway, but did not pick out a yellow. And speaking of Ryan Kame, yeah, I think we get a late race yellow here. You watch that 21 to make an aggressive move on the restart, and maybe even stay out on his own tires.
Well, one thing I would like to note, it is lap 34 presented by Henry. We're going to pull up the Henry cam. Unfortunately, Henry's not in the field, so we're just going to go on the gyro cam here for the rest of this lap with Ethan Harrison, driver the number 77. I know Ethan's one of the more fan favorites in the chat here. So we got the Henry cam going up here. Ethan Harrison in the draft with Blake Kennedy as they continue to try to work their way up through the field to try to win this race, I guess. I mean, Blake Kennedy, he really needs the win here. I mean, so does Ethan Workman in hindsight, but right now their best interest is Josh Patterson staying back, and unfortunately Patterson is gaining positions. He's actually getting run up to the wall by Austin Duran, but just in front of Patterson is another position. That's a top 10 with John Cannizzaro. So, I mean, Duran, Cannizzaro, they're not racing for anything but just to put some laps on track, really. Same with Nick Pena, who's also on the same lap as Patterson, Duran, and Cannizzaro, albeit a little further back. So, right now, Blake Kennedy, Ethan Workman, Anthony Sharps, all running top 5 through 7. They're
You know, and
hoping Patterson stays out
I
of this.
I want to say Josh is definitely looking at this being one lap down, trying to get the 2 spots ahead of him, just in case we get that yellow, so he can pit and not have to take the wave around. But the other thing we got to realize is that we're 36 laps into a race with no yellows right now, and the field pretty spread out other than the outlaw guys. And I just realized that Blake passed all of those guys that's sitting third right now. Might be a team effort being played right now.
Yeah, well, we'll have to find out what the team effort is that's exactly being played, as unfortunately it appears the YouTube chat has been taken over by some
Yeah.
bots. So my apologies for that, folks. I can't. Let me see if I can do something about that real quick here.
Uh,
That's.
We've had a pretty rough day technology-wise. We had Amazon servers go down earlier today, and we had to wait 4 more extra hours for iRacing. But now we're producing some great racing here with Ethan Workman, Garrett White, who are now nose to tail here, and then we got Aaron Griffin a lap call, and then we got back to Blake, Kristen, and Ethan will round out your top 5, and Ryan Kame is starting to make a move into the top 5 here. Could he get another top 5 in the season? And then you got Anthony Schultz, who's struggling a little bit. John, Brady, and actually, speak of it, just a battle back here with Brady.
Yep. As
Josh Patterson wants that lucky dog. You can tell.
I was able to get that chat cleared up, luckily, so we're all good for now. I hope. As unfortunately, I'm not really sure how that happened. Been the past few weeks. Unfortunately, somehow the chat gets raided by bots. I'm not sure what. Oh, Brady Cox just got the wall. Brady Cox is spinning down to the inside of the back straightaway, and
Oh!
he will nail the inside wall. And that will give Josh Patterson another chance at more positions.
And I'm surprised at that right there, being that was so close. And there was conversation about throwing a yellow, but the admins decided it's off the racetrack surface, and they're going to keep it green here. And I think that's what Ethan and Garrett want to see, is this thing to go green the rest of the way, if no mistakes are made on pit road. But as we see, I don't know, man. I just don't know if they could draft it. Yeah, Griffin looks like he
they're
had an
losing
issue.
time, to be honest. From what I'm seeing, I mean, you have 4 outlaw racing drivers here in a line, and I guess a two-car tandem. Maybe that's where we're seeing the that open air in front of them. I mean, clean air is king in these cars. It has been pretty much all season, but the draft has been so strong that it almost negates it. But in this situation, when they're not all in a pack together, it seems like being 2 is better than being 4, 5, 6, 7, as we see back here with these guys. So really, it's going to come down to pit stops, and if there's a big enough mistake by Workman and White, we'll see it happen. But right now we are waiting for the second cycle of pit stops to occur, as Austin Duran has hit 19 laps. So that pit window just now starting to open for Duran, Patterson, Cannizzaro, some of those guys who unfortunately also ended up facing penalties. Whereas Blake Kennedy, he's on a little bit of a different strategy from Visconti and Harrison. So I really want to see, do these guys try to short pit it and get some time on Workman and White, or do these guys try to stay it out longer than them?
And the other issue is the people that we saw in trouble in the last pit stops, the guys that spun out, are no longer on the racetrack. So you can't hope there's gonna be another yellow off those guys. This is gonna come down to a driver mistake, as I do not know what happened to Ryan Kane, but it was a big shock up on the backstretch.
Well, Ryan Kame is notorious for not knowing how to properly use his brakes, so not really sure what happened there with him. But yeah, these guys, I mean, they're just losing time very, very quickly here. There's not really anything they can do to gain on your
And
top two.
25
So
is on
I,
pit road.
yeah, if I'm these guys, I'm pitting this time by Kennedy, Visconti, Harrison. We're going in this time. You've been able to make it on fuel since lap 42 hit, for sure. You can go at least 20, 21 laps. So if Workman
Nick's
and
on
White
pit
don't pit
road.
here, I'd pit. Yeah,
The leaders,
I'd
yeah.
pit here. They're not gonna come down and pit though. I don't like this decision at all. I think they should be short pitting it here, trying to make up some ground on the leaders here. They're not gonna make anything up if they don't short pit it.
Yeah, and John is going to pit. John should be the first one to lap call. Well, I mean, only lap calls are pitted so far. And John, this time, I did not get the black flag.
Well, that's a good thing for them. It's a good thing for Josh Patterson.
And we're going to spin. It's going to be Austin Durain in turn number 1. This one will not bring out the yellow either, but he's on the racing surface.
Man, these guys have struggled getting out of pit road on the cold tires.
And we got Christian and Ethan both on pit road with Ryan.
Ryan Kame and Aaron Giffen, and yeah, I don't know what Blake Kennedy's strategy is. That's him and Sharps both. I'm not sure why they would not short pit it here. Harrison and Visconti taking the smart strategy here to short pit it, and I'm very glad they did because I mean at least they're trying something different. Staying it out here, that is, I don't see that being the right thing to do.
And Ryan Kane just slid through his pit box and hit the wall.
Oh my goodness. All right, well. It's down to Harrison and Visconti, it looks like, from that little group to try to save the day. As Workman and White have come down, so has Kennedy. It looks like Anthony Sharps is passing Kennedy nearly way down in the pit boxes. I'm not sure that's a legal pit stop for the 92. We'll see what the call
And we
is
got
there.
another spin. It's just Pat Carson comes out and Ryan. I don't know who else is involved with this
Oh.
one. And Ryan Kame is involved off Josh Patterson. Championship leader and Ryan Kame are just getting connected in turn number 1.
We're going
That's
to
Alan
pull
Griffin and Austin black
up
flag.
the WORC replay. So here's Patterson. He's on pit road, leaving pit, or no, he's coming in. He's getting his stop done here, and we'll see what happens. Oh, he just self spins it off of pit road.
And I don't know how bad Ryan Kame hit him here.
Oh,
You see
Ryan
right
Kame
there.
was going up the racetrack to avoid him. I'm not sure what's gonna happen there. I think this is a good opportunity for a little bit of a Henry Cam moment here, as Ryan Kame was leaving pit road. So if you're not familiar with the pit road here, you have to stay below the apron until the back straightaway. That is how you exit pit road here. So let's see. Ryan Kame, he sees Josh Patterson spin. He sees Josh Patterson on the track. Instead of going left, he goes up the racetrack where Josh Patterson has spun up to.
Well, yeah, where he was sitting. I don't know why he didn't go to the inside part of the
I'm gonna
racetrack.
rewind this again. Let's see. So Patterson spun. We are
Right there, he should have been checking up, to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
I mean, I'd get on the brakes a little bit. So Patterson, I mean, he's stopped right. He's clearly not gonna just go. I don't know why you don't go left here. You pull up the racetrack where he is. You turn towards him instead of away from him. I don't quite see the logic there in Ryan Kame's decision making on that wreck avoidance, and unfortunately, that's gonna cost him some position here. So.
And Josh is going to bring it to pit road. So instead of, well, you can't really take a wave around now just because everyone's pitted. So he's going to take the 4 fresh sides and probably get the damage fixed. But now he's going to have to hope for the yellows. And I ain't going to lie, you got the field bunch back up. It's going to be a wreck. As John Chiozano will get the lucky dog.
Yeah, Patterson, I mean, he should get the 1 out of 3 for that wreck, too. And he's very crooked in his pit box. So a rough race for Patterson. Very uncharacteristic of that driver of the O2 to make so many mistakes. So the early pit road mistake, spinning out there off of pit road. I never thought I would see Josh Patterson being the guy spinning himself off of pit road. He's always I've always thought he's been a little bit of a better driver than that. So that's your points leader, folks. I don't know if it's the stress of a possible championship heading into Las Vegas. I mean, Workman's running well. Kennedy's third. Sharps has been running up front too. He's lining up 6th right now. I mean, Workman has been the dominant car once again. He was dominant car last week at Nashville. He's the dominant car here tonight.
Yeah, the thing I was just watching here, the one driver that got saved here in this caution flag is Brady. He spun out in the backstretch, went 2 laps down, but he actually got his lap back before the yellow came out. So he got saved here instead of being 2 laps down, stuck behind everybody.
So Brady Cox got a little lucky there off of his little self-spin to the inside wall that wasn't called for a caution. I think it's time for a little mid-race update here. We have 15 laps to go. That was our first caution, and if somehow it was brought up by your championship leader, we've ran now 2 laps under caution here. I don't know if that'll update or not as we cross the line, but there it is. We've
Yeah.
had 10 lead changes tonight, a little less than what we usually see here on these bigger racetracks. But ultimately, that's because we've had some great racing so far with some amazing pit strategy, and it kind of sucks that the green flag pit stops didn't cycle out. I really wanted to see if Harrison and Visconti short pitting worked out for him, and Kennedy, I mean, he stayed out. I didn't think there was going to be much of it, but
Yeah, I was just sitting, going over everything as we're getting ready to go back green here. But, we're bunched up, and I don't think we're done wrecking now. I think this is gonna come into a beautiful race. With what's about 13 to go.
yeah, I mean, you know just as well as I do. Every race car driver, whether virtually or real life, they understand the term cautions breed cautions. I mean, you see it at your local track. You get the cruiser division on track. They have about 30 cautions in a 20-lap feature race. You see it on iRacing, every single GGR race it seems. Tonight's been a really good one, though. I'd say this is the best show we've had so far in Season 3 of the GGR Oregon Diecast IndyCar Series. Speaking of the GGR Oregon Diecast IndyCar Series, make sure you go check out Series sponsor on Instagram. Go leave him a follow at Oregon Diecast, OREGONDIECAST, Oregon Diecast. Go follow him on Instagram. As
Yeah,
great timing there by White and Workman, as the future teammates will be working together. Visconti did not really fire off, neither did Harrison and Kennedy, and it's Outlaw Racing versus presumably Whiteout Racing, despite Workman still holding the Outlaw title for a couple races here. And this one should be fun, as Kennedy on the rear wing of Garrett White. He knows that he's championship racing here, and usually when you're points racing, you don't want to go for the win, but in Kennedy's scenario, he has to go for the win in that 75.
yeah, it's back into turn number 3 and 4, and you can see Ethan, Workman, and Garrett continue to work together. Blake is looking to the outside of Garrett. He's gonna make the move.
And
Side by
Ethan,
side for second. Ethan
Ethan's going to go
behind,
with
and
his
Visco
teammate
needs
right
to catch
there.
now.
Ethan Harrison, he knows that he has to push Kennedy here if they want any sort of a chance at Outlaw Racing securing a championship, especially Blake in his final couple races with the team. They know what's at stake here. Visconti, he's going to line up with them. Looks like they have Nick Pena. He hasn't been up front. In fact, he's actually a lap down. He's racing for his lap back here. Pena in the 52 making some moves as Kennedy's still trying to work the outside on Garrett White. Visconti drops to the inside line for now. Not sure how that'll work out for him and his teammates here.
Yeah, as we continue to watch moves being made, you just gotta realize that we got lap cars up here battling lead laps, and we got Josh who's still a lap down. So he's hoping there's a wreck that catches. And speaking of the Blake's in the wall.
Blake Kennedy, crucial championship mistake. He tags the wall. He's going to lose several positions. Ethan Harrison has now put himself in P2. We've seen the Ethan and Ethan show multiple times this season, most notably back at Homestead when Workman won that battle. What will Harrison do here? Workman is leaving the team. Harrison knows that teammates aren't on the board right now with Workman, and he's going for it. To the outside goes the 77 of Ethan Harrison.
Yeah, what a
Kroger's
crucial mistake
number one employee, GGR's number one admin, going to try to put that 77 machine in victory lane here, and he's got some help from behind. Here comes Visconti to third. They've split up Workman and White, and that's exactly what Visconti and Harrison needed to do here in order to try to secure something happening, as Harrison is now side drafting Workman. He moves up the track a little bit. Workman now moves up the track as they go wheel to wheel here with 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go now as they cross the line.
Ethan Harrison and Ethan Workman. What nobody wants to give is Ethan Workman slides off the bottom. It's going to be new.
Oh, Harrison's going to clear him.
And now we got 3 wide behind, 3 wide everywhere.
Yeah, Visconti's down on the apron. The 80 playing it smart here, trying to get out of the way. And Workman and White still split up here.
Oh!
Oh, contact!
Oh,
Pena,
no!
Workman!
Oh,
Oh,
no!
Duran is up in the fence.
And Austin Duran is in the catch fence. We're gonna go
He
off that
is
for a second
stuck.
to make sure he's okay.
He is
But
okay. This is virtual racing. We don't have to
Ethan
get too
Wolfman's in the
serious.
wall too.
Let's get a look at this replay here as they were coming down the back straightaway.
And Josh Patterson involved.
We'll get a look at that in a second. So here they
Adam.
were entering 3, and
I don't know if there was
oh, Brady
Oh!
Cox came down. Workman came up in a came down in a Pena, and then Pena netcodes Duran. Duran flies into the fence, and we're gonna go get a look with Workman here, who's
I
definitely
think Duran
devastated.
got Josh. I think Duran and Josh made contact as he was going up in the air.
We'll get a look here in a second. So this is what happens with Workman. So it looks like Cox came down into Duran.
What
Oh,
happened? Yeah,
Pena
what happened?
hit White. Did White brake check him?
That's what I was wondering. Like, what's the speed difference here? He goes into the corner and then checks up.
White just checked him up. White brake checked. I'm
Now,
gonna get one
I
more
don't-
look at that, but
I don't yeah, I don't know.
he definitely brake checked.
Now look at your championship leader Josh Patterson. He
got. Oh, maybe yeah. He got tagged with Duran.
was in the grass. I think he got collected right here. It's the wrecking right there.
Oh yeah, he hit Duran, hit the outside wall, slid down the track through the commitment line, and
think
through
he
the
kept it,
grass.
and then he-
So
Uh-oh.
I think
he
he's
kept
fine.
it off everything.
Yeah, I think he's good.
I
Yeah,
don't know
Garrett
if
White, he definitely did something fishy there. His speed drastically slowed down.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out as soon as
Right in front of Pena, and unfortunately that caused Workman to get wrecked.
I don't know if there was frustrations brewed for this race or something, but it definitely looked like he brake checked a little bit. As we continue to look at the leader now, Ethan Harrison, Brady Cox, Christopher Visconti, Anthony Schultz, and John Carazano is your top 5. As we continue to go to the field, Ryan Kame 6, Scott Ferguson 8th, 11th is going to be Nick. Garrett's going to be put back to 7th right here. And he's going to stay out. Nick is going to bring his call in. As we continue to watch here on the difference between what's happened here into Tournament 1. But now we're getting ready to go back green. Lights out on the pace car. And it's going to be a good race to the end here, Brace. What do you think?
I'm a little confused by what happened there with White and Pena and Cox, and I mean, I think Brady Cox and Garrett White should both be charged with the caution because they each caused separate incidents that led to that. It appears neither of them are being charged, so I'm not sure what's going on here at GGR Race Control, but
Yeah, they were talking about it being a racing incident. But
that was not a racing incident.
Yeah, so I don't know. And there was some choice words on the radio by the Garrett White machine. So, yeah.
That did not look like much of a racing incident.
I just, we're down to the wire now. Josh is in the lucky dog position. He needs to yellow pretty quick here if he wants to have any shot at having a good finish. But as we approach the restart zone here, we have actually, it's anybody's shot here.
Yes, as will be 5 laps left in this thing coming to green. Mid-race update, that was just our second caution. 4 laps have been ran under yellow. 11 lead changes. Ethan Harrison now finds himself out front. He fires off with his teammate Visconti in tow, and that's huge for those guys. as Harrison jumps out to a pretty sizable lead early on, entering turn 1. And through the rest of the field, looks like Anthony Sharps washes up a little high. And Josh Patterson is still a lap down because of that incident. So Blake Kennedy needs to gain as many positions as possible here to keep this championship race alive heading into Las Vegas next week, as he needs to gain several points.
He's trying to push it. He has to. I don't know if he pitted for the damage or not, but he's trying to get it. As Ethan Harrison, there's a big crowd trying to run down Ethan Harrison right now. We got Christopher Conti, Brady Cox leading the outside, and they're gonna catch Ethan going into turn 1 here.
And I don't know if Visconti, I mean, yeah, he and Harrison are teammates, but when it comes down to the win, I mean, Harrison's not really in the championship running anymore. He's mathematically eliminated. And Visconti, I mean, he's going for the win. I mean, it's going to be crucial here as Harrison tries to break the draft. Brady Cox does not fall for it. He moves to the top side there, and he's got a little bit of a run as Visconti and Cannizzaro are dicing it up back there for P3. Coming to 3 laps to go here. Brady Cox, Ethan Harrison, 76, 77, wheel to wheel here. As they cross the line, give that lap to Cox in the 76 as they go into turn 1, 2 by 2 with Cannizzaro and Visconti behind them, battling for 3rd. Meanwhile, back here, Blake Kennedy is not advancing positions very well at all. He's actually behind Josh Patterson on track right now. I'm not sure what is happening with Kennedy, but he needs to act fast here as Christian Visconti goes up the middle. 3 wide for the lead here, coming to 2 to go.
Yeah, we are coming to 2 to go, and there's 3 wide everywhere back with Ethan.
Oh, Visconti back in line. Whoa. Jumps back out to the top side here. 2 to go. Teammates are going to be wheel to wheel for the win here. The 80 and the 77. Cox is going to go to the top side. He's got Anthony Sharps in line. They're going to be 3 wide here as they go through turn 1.
And no, we asked ourselves, are we going to make it back to the line? And I really
Visconti
don't know.
Gets washed up the track.
He kept it on the wall, but that's going to move John. Is that John in the P2?
Yeah, John Cannizzaro in his first ever GGR race, P2. Garrett White has maneuvered himself up to P3. He dives in to the inside of Cannizzaro as they come off of 4. 1 more lap left here in the GGR WORC Diecast Indycar Series WORC TV 125 here at Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, and Ethan Harrison is going to take the white flag as leader. Will he make it back? John within strike distance. Garrett within striking distance, and John's going to go make the move into turn number 1.
Cannizzaro trying to win. Oh, big crash behind him. Several drivers involved. Patterson. Blake Kennedy misses it.
Still wrecking. What's that?
3 wide for the race lead. Cannizzaro, Harrison, and Garrett White. This is going to be one of those classic GGR finishes that we've not seen in over a season, it seems. As they come off before Harrison gets tagged by Cannizzaro.
First career start.
First career win for Cannizzaro as he crosses the line, and he's going to take the win here in the WORC TV 125. Ethan Harrison led him up to the last one. Garrett White's around P3. Visconti finished 4th. Brady Cox runs out the top 5. Workman 6th. Blake Kennedy 7th. And Josh Patterson took 12th. I believe Blake Kennedy did enough to keep the fight alive for another race.
Dude,
Patterson will officially finish 11th. Kennedy is 7th. I believe Kennedy did enough. He needed to gain points on Patterson, and he did it. So the championship race, albeit very slim, the fight lives on for Blake Kennedy as Workman and Sharps will be mathematically eliminated following tonight's event. It's down to just 2 for that championship. As John Cannizzaro in his debut race, he becomes the first-time starter this season to win a GGR race.
Frustrations over the radio after the race.
Not sure what happened there, but congratulations to John Cannizzaro on the win, and don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back here following post-race interviews on WORC TV.
The field is rolling on the back straightaway.
Get ready. This is going to be tight. Out of turn 4, ladies and gentlemen. The All-American 400 is underway.
Got to be careful. The bumps here can get you every time. Entering the corner, exiting the corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back here to post-race interviews presented by WORC TV here for the WORC TV 125. Make sure if you were interested in that race, that was a very, very good race. If you're one of the viewers here, sponsorship is available for the final race of the season starting at just $5. So if you would like to sponsor the GGR Oregon Diecast Season 3 finale next week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, please contact Ethan Harrison on Discord. If you're looking to contact him on Discord, his Discord handle is Ethan Harrison, hashtag 7785. So if you're looking to sponsor the GGR Oregon Diecast Car Series, you can also find them on Instagram at ggr.leagues. As we're going to drag in our race winner for tonight. First career start, first career win. He's a familiar face here on WORC TV from the Makoni Setup Shop Dirt Late Model Tour. John Cannizzaro is going to be brought in here. John, you're in the WORC TV booth, buddy. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. Bracelet.
Well, John, first career start. We've said it like 1,000 times tonight. And you come home with the win. 5 laps led here, but you ended up leading the most important one. That was the last one. With it being your first start here, these cars being very much full throttle, what adjustments did you have to make here in order to put yourself in victory lane tonight?
The first issue is I'm so used to stock cars. They need air on the nose to get them to turn. It's you can just sit behind somebody and ride for 20 laps and it doesn't do anything. So a little bit of adjustment there. As soon as you get in the rhythm, it's fine. Wide open 3 and 4 the whole race, which was very beneficial that last lap. Unfortunately, Ethan was already yelling at me that he had to win that race. That's a boo-hoo for him. Other than that, it was nothing different than a regular Indycar. Just you don't have all that downforce behind somebody to just suck up right to them.
Yeah, you made a mistake on pit road though, and actually got black flagged and went down a lap. What was going through your mind there? Did you think it was over, or did you think you could continue?
For broadcast reasons, I'm not allowed to say what I was saying in my head at that moment, but went 2 laps down at one point, and then caution came out, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Brady's the lucky dog, and then it said lucky dog candidate on the top of the screen. I'm like, oh, thank God. And then from there, it's you have to be careful. You get wrecked, you lose the race, you don't go fast enough, you don't win the race. It's a loophole, really.
All right, John. Well, before we ask you who you want to thank tonight, we have a little bit of a bonus question here from our normal commentator. He's out having a lot more fun than I am up here in my bedroom broadcasting this league. He wants to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad the GGR talent level is. And like I said, that is from you have a brand new fan in Quentin Haley, who's the usual guy up here in the booth with me. So he wants to know, scale of 1 to 10, how bad the GGR talent level is.
You want the sugar-coated answer or the honest answer?
The honest answer.
At least a 8.5.
8 as in like 10 being the worst?
8 as in 10 being the best.
Oh, I think you rated it a little too high. You might need to come run some more races here in the GGR Diecast Indycar Series.
You got hope.
But yeah, tonight was a great race, and we're glad that you were able to come out here and put yourself in victory lane in your first ever start. So before we let you go, buddy, do you have anybody you want to thank tonight?
Josh Patterson for causing the caution. Big shout out to you. Thank you, my man. The whole field for not trying to kill me, even though I ran into Garrett White for the first time I ever bumped tires in an Indy car. You guys went up on the broadcast. Racing for not picking on me for once in his freaking life. And just everybody else.
All right. Well, congratulations, John, on the big win here tonight at Auto Club. And do you think we'll be seeing you next week at Las Vegas?
Maybe. We'll have to see.
All right. We might see him at Las Vegas, see if he'll defend that crown as he heads into the finale. Congratulations, John, on your win.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to bring in P2 to the booth now. That is Ethan Harrison. And Ethan, I know you're very emotional right now. It sounds like over the radio post-race you were a little frustrated. Run me through there what you think you could have done differently on that last lap. I know you're mathematically out of the championship for sure now, but that win I know was very important to you. Run me through what you think you could have done to bring it home tonight.
Well, I genuinely don't think I could have done anything different because I was expecting. No one had gotten that kind of run that he got all race. So I saw him in my mirror where he entered the corner. I expected him. He wasn't going to make the corner. No one had made the corner like that all night. And so when he went out, when he was on the bottom, I expected him. The way the runs worked, you got a little tight off of turns 1 and 2 because It was more narrow than 3 and 4, so you'd get tight and drift up high. But he just didn't get tight. It was baffling to me. But it was just too late to block it. If I blocked him like that, I was gonna wreck us both, and I don't want to do that. So I just raced him as hard as I could, him and Garrett, and then I almost got wrecked by Brady, but it's whatever. I held on to it. It's just tough getting beat like that, especially a guy making his first start. But it's just racing, and I had fun race. Green flag pit stops were really fun to do, and I'm glad we finally got to see some of those in this series.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to ask you about that. So as the caution came out right after you pitted in your second pit stop cycle, do you think that thing went green to the end, you were going to be able to catch Ethan Workman and Garrett?
No.
You think they had too big of a lead?
Yeah, if it went green, it was going to be between them. There's no way we could have caught with the group that we had. Because there was a car in our group. There was a car blinking and there was a slow car in the back. So we just really had no help. We couldn't have caught. But the caution really helped us a lot, and I'm not glad that it came out because the circumstances that brought it out are kind of foggy. But we'll have to go look at it and see what's going on there.
All right, Ethan, and a bonus question from the desk of Q Haley here before we let you go. He wants to know how much you like the broadcasters and the quality of the broadcast.
Well, I didn't get to listen to it. I have it pulled up for review purposes, but I don't get to listen. And from what I heard from John's interview, I enjoy it. Glad you guys are here.
Awesome. That didn't sound very genuine, Ethan. Before we let you go, do you have anybody you want to thank tonight?
Just same people as always. All the people who come out and race my league and support me, and Outlaw Racing for being the greatest team in GGR.
I'd say they're the greatest team in league racing, period. They got star-studded talent lining up for that team there. Unfortunately, Ethan, you didn't have many fans in the comment section tonight like you usually did. Instead, we were infested with some interesting bots in the chat tonight to keep things lively. Yeah, they're big fans of Ethan Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
They came from his old SSD that he had in his computer. Well, thank you, Ethan, for your time and dedication into the league. As unfortunately, like I said, you're pretty much mathematically out of the championship hunt now. It's down to pretty much Blake and Josh, and I mean, I don't know if there's much possibility there, but you had a great season yourself, and P2 here. I know you're still looking for that win this season, and hopefully you can bring it home next week at Auto Club in the finale. Congratulations on second place, Ethan.
Have a great night, guys.
All right, you too. That's Ethan Harrison, folks. He took home P2. As you heard, he a little bit frustrated to lose it to John Canizaro there. We're going to bring in Garrett White now. Garrett, you're in the WORC TV booth, buddy. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, Garrett. Well, big night here for you in that 26. You led 9 laps. You worked a lot with Ethan Workman, who I know, as of future plans, will be your new teammate as he's finishing out the GGR season with Outlaw Racing. He'll move on over with you as you own Whiteout Sim Racing. So you guys seem to work together. You guys have some great teamwork up front. You guys were on the same pit strategy and everything. So it looks like that teamwork's already starting to prevail here. Unfortunately, though, late in the race, you guys got split up. And do you think if you guys were able to kind of keep together 1-2 there, that you would have been able to try to go out there and pull out the win? Or do you think when you guys got split up, that kind of ended things? People weren't really wanting to work together.
Well, Brayson, I think it's hard to say, but I think before the caution, we had a really good shot of winning that race. I went back and looked at the replay, and I don't understand why Josh reversed into Ryan Kane. I really don't. But that kind of ruined me and Ethan's chances, really.
Yeah, it was a little rough. Unfortunately, I missed I missed the chat actually being active for once, trying to ask Ethan Harrison a question. However, we do have a bonus question for you before Paul asks his question. This one is from the desk of Q Haley, who's usually up here in the booth. He's unfortunately out having more fun than I am. So he wants to know if so there it looked like on that one, gosh, you kind of brake checked a little bit, or just checked up at all. Ultimately, when Workman and Pena and had some contact and a lot of things happened. Looked like you checked up a little bit. He wants to know if you think that checkup was supposed to work like it did at Atlanta out in the knock race, the Super Street Series.
Well, I'm glad that you and Quentin brought that up. No, that was that was not intentional. The reason why I checked up is because I had such a terrible angle going into that turn, and if I didn't check up, I would literally wash up and wreck the entire field. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Gotcha. That's what we were wondering. All right, Paul, go ahead. You can ask your question now.
well, Garrett, we knew that you were a very aggressive driver behind the wheel, and it sounded like multiple people might have been frustrated with you there. What do you say to those people heading into Las Vegas and with a shot at, well, you can't win the title, but a shot at a win? Is it to shut the haters up finally?
No comment. I guess. I don't know why they're mad. I mean, if they wanted me to wreck the field anyways, I guess I could have done that.
All right, well, you heard it there, folks. Garrett White, he's not sure what all the commotion's about there from the other drivers as heads are butting, heels are turning, and this is going to line up to be an exciting finale next week, next Tuesday night in the GGR Organized Indycar Series here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Reminder that sponsorship is available for that event for as low starting at $5. If you want to sponsor that, contact Ethan Harrison on Discord at Ethan Harrison, hashtag 7782, or you can also contact him on Instagram at ggr.leagues. He'll be able to get back to you there. However, Garrett, next week, big run for you. Obviously, you're just going out there to win. You don't care about any championship race. So P3 tonight. Hopefully, you can bring it back here in the booth next week, and we'll see if all that commotion from the other drivers was warranted or not. We'll see what happens going into next week. Before we let you go, do you have anybody you want to thank tonight?
I want to thank my future teammate Ethan Workman for an amazing not result, but effort going before the caution. So thank you, Ethan, and we're gonna go WFO next week. Thanks.
All right, well, that's Garrett A. White, folks. Comes home P3, and so man, great racing tonight, Paul. And as I've mentioned multiple times, sponsorship is available for next week's race. Tonight's race was good enough that I think you can feasibly put out some money, $5-10 next week, maybe even 15, maybe even 20. We'll see what these drivers want to be racing for. I mean, lots on the line. So like I said, if you want to get that sponsorship out there, contact Ethan Harrison. Other than that, I mean, we've had some other sponsors here throughout the season. I mean, Limeade Media, one of the best media companies that you'll find. They do more than just iRacing stuff. Great company. Go check them out on Instagram. Follow them at Limeade Media. They've got some big things coming up in their future, and they've been a sponsor of GGR this season, and they seem to be decently satisfied with it. Josh Patterson, Dynamo Designs, he sponsored it back when it was JP Designs, but he just went through a rebrand. He's got some great design stuff going on there. He's another sponsor of the series, so I mean, there's plenty of sponsorship opportunities here in the GGR Organized IndyCar Series, and coming into that finale next week, who doesn't want to see that thing sponsored, especially for these drivers who've been here week in and week out all season long. It's been fantastic here. Paul, before we let you go, do you happen to have any closing words?
I just want to say that Ethan's got some interesting fans over here in the chat, and they are rounding him up right now. But honestly, it was a great race, an interesting race. Green flag runs, pit stop, something we have not seen all season long, and something that was really cool to see was the green flag pit stop and the strategy working out. But I think it's gonna be a great championship race. I'm pretty sure Josh has pretty much got it locked up unless he dies on lap number 1. I was looking at the points a little bit ago, but yeah, great race, and congratulations to John on the win.
Yeah, and great run for John Cannizzaro. P1 on the boards tonight. Next week, man, I think all bets are off. I mean, the championship race is pretty much set in stone. It's going to take a big race out of Blake Kennedy and a really bad race out of Josh Patterson for anything to change in the championship standings. Mind you, here was the point standings entering this event, folks. Josh Patterson had a 62-point lead. Blake Kennedy beat him by 4 positions, but he had to get that gap under 60 to be here for next week, and unfortunately, he I don't know, man. I don't know how the championship race is gonna go, but we'll find out next week. As that'll do it tonight for myself and Paul Granata up here in the booth. Thank you, Paul, for coming up here. You and Henry have been great super subs when I'm up here broadcasting, as well as Tyson Gifford and Jay Mulder producing a couple races for us via Limeade Media. So, like I said, make sure to go check out Limeade Media on Instagram at Limeade Media. Other than that, do you have anything else you want to say, Paul? I know I said that already, but I got I have to keep monitoring the chat here. Ethan Harrison's special fan is going off in the chat.
Yeah, very interesting tournament events there, but yeah, no. Other than that, it was a great race and a lot of action. I'm excited to see what next week brings, especially with the rivalry starting in blue.
All right, folks. Well, before we sign off here from WORC TV, we want to give a shout out to my usual co-commentator, Quentin Haley, and the team that I sim race for, Dark Horse Racing. Dark Horse RC Cars brought home 2 big wins tonight with Quentin and Justin Haley. The 2 brothers went out there, got it done tonight at the RC track out there. Like I said, they were having a lot more fun than I am up here broadcasting this thing week in and week out. So I consider themselves lucky. But congratulations to Quentin on winning tonight, just as John Canizaro did. And with that, we will see you guys next week here for the season finale of the GGR Oregon Diecast IndyCar Series Season 3 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And when it's all said and done,